everybody, it's Cash, and this is going to be really, really quick, I promise. I simply wanted to thank every single one of you who left a comment under that video about how we can infuse the midterms in America with light, and maybe put up some kind of block to the authoritarian candidates who want to take over America and subvert democracy. There are, I guess, about 1,700 comments right now, something like that. And although I have scanned them all so far, which is how I know they're remarkable, I haven't read and digested them. So I'm actually going to read them all word for word and digest them. And then I'll come up with some kind of idea of how we can go forward. To me, this is really something that can wait until after the primaries, because then we'll know who the candidates are and where we can focus light and what our technique can be and so on. I know for people who are outside America, like in France, for example, where the runoff for the election is next week, and Marine Le Pen could win that, and in Australia, where the election is in May, that this is all more pressing than the American midterms. Now, I should just say that all the way along, French viewers, all the way along, the pictures have said that Macron would squeak through. But this morning, I took another quick look because I just keep seeing polls that say Le Pen is like this far from getting in. It's this close. And when I went into the energy, they were both standing on the edge of a gulf or a ravine or something, and the distance between where they were and the other side, I assume, is the distance between here today and the election in a week's time. And what was interesting was that they both leaned forward like this and grabbed onto the other side. So they were like bridges across this ravine, both hanging on by their fingertips. So it's obviously neck and neck. But what was fascinating was that as Macron somehow managed to dig his nails in the earth on the other side and scramble up and over, Marine Le Pen found that the earth just crumbled under her fingertips and she fell, which again reinforces the idea that Macron could win. Because if Le Pen wins, then you get another country which could leave the European Union, another country that is beholden to Putin and does his bidding. That is not good. So I assume that you rascals in France are already trying to work on this with light and all the rest of the stuff. And probably the people in Australia as well. But our concern probably should be for the midterms in America in November, because by then we'll have somehow fashioned a technique out of this and worked out a way of making something happen if we can. But I did read the comments, and I take your point about the fact that we can't interfere in destiny. That's my view anyway. And it can't be party political. It shouldn't be like, well, I'm a Democrat and I must support the Democrats. I want them to win. Or I'm a Republican, I want the Republican to win. It's simply got to be about what is good for the country. What will raise the consciousness and the vibration of the country, rather than dragging it down to several more years of dictatorship and MAGA values and so on. There are many people who will want Liz Cheney to win in November, and obviously she's a staunch Republican. So it's not about that, and it's also not going to be about, as far as I can tell from the comments anyway, about putting blocks around people. But we will come up with a way of using the light worker energy, the high vibration energy, to boost the chances of those who support democracy and who want to govern America, who want to impact infrastructure and healthcare and all the things that actually matter to people, as opposed to those who simply want to get rich off the system and be in power and maybe even stage a coup to overturn democracy. So that's where we're at. We don't have to do anything as far as America goes for another few weeks, but I will read and digest the comments and come up with some kind of refined way that we can use what we've learned communally and put it to work. It's going to be a fascinating experiment. And again, I am really grateful. It doesn't surprise me that I got all these comments actually, or that they were so amazing, because I know what you're like. I read your comments all the time. But you really outdid yourself. And I wanted to thank you personally for taking part in that. So I will be back soon, but I wanted to register that today because I'm very, very impressed. And so's Olive, actually. Yeah, I know she doesn't look impressed. She's napping. But underneath all that fur, she is actually impressed. All right, so thanks, guys. I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.